He's from Blythe. You'll never ever be tampered. Woo! Yes, everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. We're in the semi-finals. Them socks are giving me a semi. Well, he's not pointing the camera down, how will Liam? There we go. There we go.
About my fucking... How are the lads?
So Newcastle United are through, and this is the last word. Yes, as you can see, I've got Johnny to my left, Carl to my right.
And Lee's in the middle with you.
Johnny, you're just taking my line. But we are happy because Newcastle United have thoroughly deserved to go through tonight. None of this park the bus back in the day or scrapping for a corner or whatever. We've absolutely dominated today's game, which surprised me a little bit because I didn't think it would be that easy. But Johnny, let's go with the lineups. We're looking at that. There was only 3 of them that kept the place. That doesn't really surprise you from the game against Sheffield Wednesday.
No, not at all. I think, look, changes were going to be made for this game. This was the priority game. I think Eddie Howe probably thought that his second string was good enough to beat Sheffield Wednesday. It wasn't. But our first team normally is good enough, and it showed it was good enough today. But I think the question was saint-maximin going to start from the beginning? I think there was a couple of people, I think myself included, would have liked to have seen that, but Eddie Howe, as he normally does, gets it spot on. And I think the midfield was really important today, which I know we'll touch on later on.
Yeah, that was the thing. One we'll just keep an eye on. Where's ESM? He plays on the bench with Isak, and when you've got a £56 million striker on the bench, you know this could be a sign of things to come.
Definitely, it's we always talk about strength and depth, and those two obviously contribute to that hugely. So it was fantastic that Isak's come back. He obviously looked quite sharp in the Sheffield Wednesday game, considering he's been out for what 3 months now, is it, or something like that. Yeah, it's. I think it was the lineup that we expected, definitely.
It was, yeah, and Leicester obviously had a few of their key players missing, but we're not Leicester Channel. Let Leicester Channels talk about that. The whole game, well, I mean, we will dissect the first and second half, but I thought Newcastle dominated, except for probably a couple of Vardy chances later on that second half. But Johnny, we got off to a really good start in the first 10-15 minutes. We had about 2 or 3 chances.
Yeah, Sean Longstaff has the biggest opportunity, really, within the first 50-55 seconds of the game, and he should really score. He should really score. He could have had a hat-trick tonight, Sean Longstaff, but yeah, he had a good opportunity early on, but it was good because the fans were up for it, and it was just whether the players were. Were the players going to be up for it tonight? And they certainly were. I think, look, Bruno's had 2 really good chances. Sean Longstaff had a really good chance, which was well saved by Danny Ward. It was actually a really, really good save because he managed to get a touch in the box on his better foot, his right foot, right in the bottom corner. It's a great save from Ward, but Newcastle were knocking on the door. It was just whether or not we could open the door in that first half. We didn't, but we certainly did in the second. Yeah,
we still had a load of Bruno, didn't he, at the edge of the box as well, which we expect Danny Ward to save that.
Today,
he was
absolutely brilliant today. It's one of his, there can be times where he gives the ball away, but he was really, really good in possession today, and
like even the trains are happy.
Yeah, he just he offered everything today. It was fantastic. Got back, won the ball, kept the ball, unlocked the defence with some fantastic passes. I was really impressed with Bruno today.
If I'm a Leicester fan, I'm really disappointed with Leicester, because if you come up and your team puts that.
Do you think even their fans looked up for it? Like, I'm amazed that they didn't even.
I've heard them once.
Not even that. It was more the fact that they only took. They didn't even sell out 2 blocks today. I was absolutely amazed.
Tiny little section.
I just think you can just tell that at the minute. And I don't want to talk about Leicester too much, but the fans didn't look up for it. The manager kind of accepted defeat pretty much from his press conference yesterday, and the players probably showed a little bit about themselves, but I would be really disappointed. Like, I've seen plenty of performances like that with Newcastle in cup competitions, but this is meant to be a quarter-final. Like, I don't think I don't know, maybe because they've had a little bit of success of recent time. They just took it for granted.
On their day, and with that lineup, there's still an opportunity for them to beat us, in my opinion. If you really go out, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Tielemans, Barnes.
Pass from Tielemans was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely, and that
disgusting means good.
We say that every week. Well, I think we need subtitles, don't we? But no, genuinely, that's what he possesses, and that's why we've spoken about potentially having it at Newcastle. I agree with what Johnny said. They've got the potential to have beaten us had they gone out there and wanted to compete, but just didn't feel like they did at all, from top to bottom.
Second half, Joelinton has a chance, deflected, hits the post. Newcastle were just knocking on the door, like, how would we need that goal? Because I think as soon as we got that first goal, the floodgates could open, and it wasn't very long. And he's a local lad, and it's the big. Do you know what it is? Since a goal going in the season, I think that's the biggest roar that I've heard this season for 2 reasons. Obviously, getting into semi-final, Newcastle are desperate for success, but also it's one of their own.
Yeah, he is one of our own. He's from Blythe, you'll never ever beat Dan Burn. The one thing I will say,
it's going to be stuck in everybody's head.
It can be stuck in everybody's head if I'm honest. But the one thing,
Keep going.
I can't. I haven't got the accent, have I?
no, I really, to be honest, even I've got the greatest, like the strongest Geordie accent. But no, seriously, it's great play by Joe Willock in the end as well. He was just chasing down lost causes, and look, Newcastle managed to get a little bit of rub of the green. Lovely little pass into the box. Dan Burn from his left foot.
It's a great goal, you know.
It is, especially for someone that's a left back on his right foot. He gets it onto his right foot, which isn't his strongest. And literally, the only thing you would say on your weaker foot, just get the shot on target.
But I also think Willock and Joelinton did so well to win the ball back and then play him in.
They did. They were excellent. And Willock and Joelinton, I think that midfield were absolutely superb. I think Sean Longstaff could have had a hat-trick tonight and did the dirty work as he always does. But look, Newcastle thoroughly deserves to go 1-0 up. It's a great finish, and the celebration in the Gallagher, probably next to where his friends and family have been sitting and standing all these years, and the chant came on. I think that was the moment you thought. I think you kind of knew as soon as we scored we were going to win that game. I know we got the second goal not too much later on, but Newcastle they've just done enough. And if anybody epitomises what Newcastle United are right now, it's Dan Burn, because a local lad,
like a gladiator, only.
Yeah, gladiator, just fights for the shirt. There's been a question mark with him at left back this season, but he just keeps answering these questions emphatically, and he's been absolutely superb this season. And look, he'll get all the plaudits tonight. He deserves to get all the plaudits tonight, but the question was, will he get that goal? Will he get that goal? And he did get that goal, and it's fantastic.
Great for him. It's a great moment because he's a Geordie down. I mean, the place was bouncing. We're 1-0 up. Carl and Johnny just said there, it didn't take long, and I think as the second goal goes in, and again it's Joelinton who seems to love playing Leicester City, and it kind of like, Johnny was saying, well, I'm nervous, and Sam Alloway doing Stafford was saying, I'm nervous, and it was tense for everybody, a lot of fans. Did that just kill that off and think we can relax a little bit with 2-0 up, or were you still worried about, we're still early on in the game?
No, that was literally, I think the epitome of that was everyone around the Gallagher for the first probably 3 rows was stood up for the majority of the second half until that Joelinton goal went in. Everyone actually started to sit down. I think that was just like emphasised the nervousness that was around, and that literally just put it to bed. And I think everyone did relax, definitely. I mean, I almost started editing some videos that was that relaxed about us getting the result from there. But talking about the floodgates were opening, and we could have had another 3 or 4 after that. So fantastic performance from everybody, and Dan Burn really does epitomise what Newcastle United are about. I just love every time he's on the ball.
That's a new man crush, is it?
Yeah, him and Joelinton, threesome.
He said it. Just point the record out.
So disappointed.
Fabian Schär still hasn't. Fabian Schär still hasn't lost a game in Newcastle shirt.
Liam Kerr, the Dan Burn of Newcastle Fans TV, has.
Fabian Schär's still not lost a game in Newcastle this season. He hasn't. I think he's only 1 or 2 now. Yeah.
The only issue when we went 2-0 up, I think if Jamie Vardy, especially if he puts the first one...
Leicester started bringing the changes.
Yeah, look, if Vardy puts the first one away, I don't know how he misses that.
How has he missed that?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, Rebecca Vardy...
Is that worse than Chris? You've got a joke coming on, haven't you?
I was going to say Rebecca Vardy would have scored that. That's how much of a bad miss it was, honestly. But the second one was a little bit more difficult, but they didn't take their opportunities. If they did take their opportunities, it might have been a bit nervy, but you felt comfortable. The defence was solid most of the night. Like, that was the only times really that Leicester kind of got through. But after that second miss from Jamie Vardy, the chance came out about his lass. Apparently is a grass. I think that's true. I'm not going to say allegedly because
that was away at Leicester as well.
I know. But
you're loving that, aren't you?
Oh, it was a brilliant chant. Absolutely brilliant. It was so loud as well. He must have been there thinking... Like,
it was happening at Leicester as well.
I just wanted to go down the tunnel.
Do you know, I loved at the end, right? It was Trippier was shepherding the ball out, and he just got the better of Vardy, and he kicked the corner flag at angle. I thought that was brilliant.
And he was eyeballing the fans as well, so someone must have said something to him because he was proper giving
he's the type of player, if he scores, he will go like this.
I think it was probably Colin Rooney, to be honest, wasn't it?
Well, those were big chances, especially the first one, because it's almost kind of like the Chris Wood level when he missed against Sheffield Wednesday. Vardy's got a tap in, he's put it wide, and as the game starts to die down, it was a lot more comfortable for Newcastle. The fans are bouncing, and before we hear from Eddie Howe, we're now in a semi-final. Just checking your nose, you got a nosebleed there. Yeah. We're in a semi-final, which hasn't happened since we got to Wembley.
So, yeah,
Millennium.
FA Cup semi-final against Man United.
Solon scored?
No, Amiobi.
No, Amiobi. Solon is actually here, actually.
Yeah, Nobby's here.
Yeah, Amiobi.
But 1976 was the last time Newcastle in the League Cup semi-final. Sam Mulliner was just a nipper that day.
Yeah, I mean, can we believe now? Because the draw is going to come up very, very quick. There's going to be a lot of people watching this tomorrow, today, depending on where you're watching it. The draw will be later on tonight for a lot of people watching this. Can we now start dreaming? Who do you want? Who do you not want?
I mean, ideally, you'd love Southampton to pull a result out of the backsides, wouldn't you? But I don't expect that to happen.
Expect Brighton to go through. Would you take them?
Yeah.
Brighton are in it?
No.
I thought Brighton was still in it.
No, so you got
Wolves, sorry.
Wolves versus Forest, Man City, Southampton, but Man United beating Charlton, so it's one of them.
It's got to be either Wolves or Forest, hasn't it?
Yeah, you've got to have the winner of that. But are you dreaming now?
I've been dreaming for weeks. I've been dreaming for years, Lee. But yeah, no, genuinely, bar getting Manchester City in the semi-final, which obviously would be a very difficult task over 2 legs, although it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. I think there really is a possibility we could get to the final, definitely.
Are you now believing?
I'm believing. I'm believing unless we get Man City, because I think Man City over 2 legs it's borderline impossible. It's borderline possible.
We could win at home, but you wouldn't expect to battle one like they did at Chelsea.
No, I don't think they would. But I think the problem is you look at the teams that Man City have lost to in 2 legs over recent years. Real Madrid, who are the best team on the planet, some would argue. Liverpool, who have had a phenomenal few years. You have to be almost, what's the word? You have to be perfect to beat Man City over 2 legs. It's hard enough beating them in 1 game. So I think if you are going to play Man City, you probably want it to be the final, and you just hope they have an off day. But if you get to the final, anything can happen. Yeah,
we'll talk about that in a second. But here is Eddie Howe.
A similar feel to those games. We had chance after chance in that first half. We didn't take them. Goalkeeper made some good saves. I think the important thing in that moment is not to get impatient and to start overthinking things and trying the extravagant. I thought we kept control pretty well. And the goals came at a good time for us, I think. We're always looking for things to improve the performance, and it wasn't so much around the goal area. I didn't even mention that, the finishing of the chances is more about the chance creation, because if you keep producing chances, you will score with the quality we got on the pitch. Leicester are a transition threat, especially when Vardy comes on. He changes the dynamic of their team, and so we were wary of that. I think the defenders' concentration was very good. While it was 0-0, I think we limited them. I think they only really had chances into the game when we went 2-0 up.
So that was Eddie Howe. Carl, obviously, it goes back to, I don't want to talk too much about Fulham, because I want to enjoy this moment. If we did get a final, I think there'll be carnage on the channel.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be taking my van down. There'll be...
You've got a camper van.
Max and Paddy-esque videos. We're all going to book a hotel now, aren't we?
We'll have to. I mean, I've already got the holidays booked in. You're trying, aren't you?
No, I'll be fine. I'll be there.
You sure?
We've already said
I'm ill.
We've already said what budget we're willing to pay should we not get a ticket.
I tell you now, it doesn't matter. I will be at Wembley if we get through. I think we just need to keep in mind, and I don't want to be pessimistic, but we still have a semi-final. We could be thinking, oh great, we're booking trips to Wembley on that. Because the good thing is a thing called cancellation fee, because that's pretty much what Manchester City are. They're a cancellation fee for us.
I think why I'm jumping in that is because we're now starting to dream a little bit, and I said in the WhatsApp, the daft 5-hour drive down to Southampton for the middle of the night, the trip to Saudi, the constant away trips you've done down the years. It is. It's that little bit of hope that it's you open the door a little bit and you can see the light, and it would be incredible if we can even have a day out.
Do you know what it is? For so many years, we've been in cup competitions where we haven't given a shit really, especially the League Cup over the years, and this is kind of like the first proper season that I can remember in a long time where we've taken this cup very, very seriously. We've played our strongest team possible in every round. Arguably, there was a few changes, but enough to win the game. You have to start thinking now we can actually win a trophy. The trophy end could be near, could be nigh, because Newcastle United are in a semi-final. Just repeat that. Newcastle United are in a semi-final. That's what you've got to remember tonight. And then, look, the good thing is we're going to have 2 semi-finals. Obviously, the semi-final, first leg and second leg, and they're the 2 big games. There's no Premier League game in the middle. There's no FA Cup. Do you now,
well, not put the league to one side, but you make these 2 games more bigger than the league because we're still, third in the Premier League.
I think Fulham, you can do whatever you want. Palace is interesting. It just depends who you get in the draw. I think Man United.
An awful record
Man United's an even game. I think you can make that pretty much an even game, man. Depending on who's home second leg, will probably have the slightest of advantages. But I think
we'll beat them.
I think it's more comfortable than we think. I really do. I think they've still got problems. Ten Hag's turned it around a little bit, but they still have problems in the dressing room.
You see a lot of rotated now because we've got a game list for every 3 days now for the next few weeks. You see the likes of Isaac maybe starting the league game and ASM, and then come back to the first leg of the semi-final. It might be Wilson and.
Yeah, it makes sense to do that because you want to get these two, especially those two boys, up to essential match fitness for a game like that. Definitely.
How many minutes are we on? 14 minutes. Well, we've been over because you've heard Eddie Howe as well. So we're up to about 15 minutes. I think we'll wrap up here. We actually came back out from the studio once again, all the way up to St James's Park in the cold at 12 o'clock at night to do this video.
12 o'clock, can't believe it.
12 o'clock. That's how dedicated we are. We want to like just for that alone. Go back.
Subscribe to the channel, why not? We're in the semi-final, boys and girls.
You might see some cup final action, who knows? But yeah, drop us a like, everybody. Go back.
To Wembley.
I might be getting a ticket on it and buy with our meetings.
HMRC funding a ticket for Mr. Kerr. Allegedly.
We'll end it there before we get into trouble. Take care, everyone.